Yo, what is up guys? Welcome to a new video of me, Fastball40. Today I am bringing you a new sort of trading that, for me especially, I've not really done this before, but I've watched a few other traders do it, I've looked into it myself, and now I've started getting involved. It's actually making me quite a bit of coins. But I've started doing it on my main account. Now we're going to start bringing it up to trading into Glory account. I want to start moving away from just telling you guys what I'm doing and actually doing the stuff itself and building up coins and whatnot, because at the moment I feel like it's a lot of me telling you, so I'm getting lots of content out, but to give you guys an idea of what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, so that each day then I can just sort of update you as what's going on in the club, anything new you need to know, I can tell you about. So this really last sort of week, probably me giving you sort of trading tips as such, in terms of like the hardcore trading tips, and the videos only being about how to do them. Whereas next week after that, so I want to then move on to still how to do the trading. Of course, there's going to be a seat, that's the whole point of it, but also how that's worked for me, what I've done well on, what I've not done well on, so you get an idea of the mistakes I've made, the problems that I've had, so you don't make those same problems yourself. So, chemistry chart style trading. It is not what you think it is. Somebody said to me before, what is it? And I've tried to explain it. It is not going and sniping, hunting and shadow cards. Now, do not get me wrong, that is an effective way to make coins. If I show you, for example, I saw this morning a couple of them on there. I didn't bother doing it, but I was having a little look because I was going to do it for the video, but I changed my mind. Pardon me, yawning, it's quite early here. Shadow cards, it's early morning, so they're about 11,750. So let's say 11,500 probably there'll be someone there for, almost certainly. Maybe even 11, but I don't think so. But they're asking for 11. 11k, right? So you can, if you want to, set your sniping filter to 10. Go like that. And just sit there and spam out shadow cards, because you're going to go for 10k, right? So it is a legitimate trading method. I've seen people do it on streams, and it's more common than you realise people do it. But I'm not going to do that. When I say chemistry style trading, I mean specifically the chemistry styles that are applied to players, okay? Now, there's plenty of ways you can do this. You can do it high tier, so that's your informs, your icons, etc, etc, etc. Mid tier, and I'd say that's usually sort of your De Jongs, your Fabinhos, anyone sort of 30k plus, possibly slightly more than that, but those sort of players. But I find the most effective way, and it's good for you guys who haven't got coins to do it, is the low tier way of doing it. Now, I want to give you an example. Felipe Henderson's a guy that I like using. I always talk to you guys about this guy, right? Now, he is on the market. Why does it not register that A button push? It does my nothing. Right. He's on the market for... I need a new controller badly, man. It's just so jolty, this one. 9,000 coins, alright? 9,000 coins there with an engine, okay? Now, if I go to Hunter with him, it'll be 14. Might have some for 14k on there. 15k possibly. Yeah, 15k. There's one on there for 15k, right? So that's already a 6,000 coin difference between the price of his normal card and his Hunter card. The reason for that is that Hunter cards cost over 10k. So if I'm buying the Felipe Henderson for my squad, I'm going to look for one with a Hunter card on it, because I'm going to want to put Hunter on it to boost his shooting, right? Realistically, it's going to happen. So he sells for a lot more than he does normally, but not quite the price of a Hunter card, if that makes sense. So to buy an Anderson and a Hunter card be 20k together, it's sort of 16, 17k. The prices fluctuate massively, which is why you must go and do what I've done here, which is a database. It's a Google Docs database. If you are in my streams, this will be available to you, okay? I will save this and share it out. It will be available to you from now on. All the stuff I do on my databases will be available. You have to be a follower. So if you're not following me on Twitch, go and follow me and come into the streams. But essentially, I started doing this last night, really, to get into depth of it, real detail of it. It's difficult last night because the base icon packs came out. I'm recording this on Saturday. You'll see this on Monday. But essentially what it is, looked at Werner's in form, Ben Yedder's in form, Mertens in form, and Robertson's in form. They're the ones that I like trading with normally. I'm going to add to it as I go. And then the meta cards that I like trading with: Sterling, Orba, Werner, Sissoko, Anderson, Fabinho, Kante. They're the guys I like looking at, right? And I looked at what they sold with last night with a Hunter on them, a Shadow on them, X, Y, Z. And then, so you got PM and AM or whatever. I need to change this one. That is for PM. And I looked at what someone is saying for in the morning. So I get an idea of, in the mornings, in the evenings I can buy them for 14k. And in the mornings I can get up and list them all for 17k. Or I can buy them in the evenings. Or just straight away, if I'm sitting there in the evening and I'm like, hang on, there's Felipe Henderson's here for 16k. I can go and buy one of these Felipe Hendersons straight away for 16k and sell him straight away, right? I can go and do that. So like I've gone and bought, I know full well Felipe Henderson sell for 16k eventually. That's a Sissoko I paid 12,000 for, I think. So I'll show you him in a second. But I know that they eventually sell for 16,500. So it's cool. If I buy them at 14k or 13k, I'm laughing. I know for well I'll make profit. Okay. So, but making sure and just make sure that you keep a database. I always say this. I write my stuff down. I'm looking at look right in front of you now. There's stuff on the back of an envelope, right? All my writings. But then I go and convert it to a database. I've never got to write one again now. I just add and change and do duplicate and do what I need to do. It's a no-brainer to do it that way. Go and do it. So again, I tell you this, on a Saturday morning, before you go play football, watch football, whatever it is you're doing, spend an hour just going over all the stuff you need to know. Get it in your database. You've got it there for the week. You've just got to add to it. It's so important that you do that. But I just want to see if there's any cheap for the Pelicans I can invest in right now. Even that 15k one will probably sell, but I'm not going to. The other guy I like doing from this league that I'm a massive fan of is Sissoko. Let me go to the shadow. You can do different ones. Like you can do him with a shadow and Sissoko with a shadow. But I like, for now, I'd say to you guys, while you're new to it, just stick to what you know. Stick to shadows. People are going to want you shadows on Sissoko. But, so for example, there's two there. They're both strikers, okay? I know strikers can be difficult to sell. So I'm going to list these both for 13 straight away and hope that someone picks them up. If they don't, I won't lose any coins. But if they're CMs, you make a lot more. You make a lot more for CMs. That's the other thing you look at is variances of the players in terms of, we'll list them for 13,250, probably still sell. It's still profit either way. But look at the variances for the positions as well. Don't just go jumping straight in and think, okay, cool, well, I'm going to use this, I'm going to use that. Just make sure that you're buying the right players at the right times. But that's Sissoko and Anderson are sort of your lower levels. The only other lower level one that I like looking at, just realised you haven't seen that. I've literally just done that and you've not seen it. But I just bought Sissoko for reference. I'll show you in a second. The other one that I like looking at is Timo Werner. And now he fluctuates massively in price with a hunter on him. Sometimes he can be like 6k, other times he can be 9k. It's legitimately completely random. But his normal card sells for I think like 4k-ish. 4.7-ish, 4.647, right? 4.647 is what his card sells for, okay? Without a hunter on him. Because he's not that meta in terms of his pacey and whatnot, but he's not the best card in the world. With a hunter on him, he jumps up and not like extraordinary like the 6,000-7,000 like other cards do. So 6.8 there, 7.2. I've got those two watching to see if they sell. I'm going to watch see if the 6.8 sells. But that's the other thing as well. Go to your transfer targets and just put them on there. See if they sell. If he sells for 6.8, you can think, okay, cool. In the mornings, I can list it for 6.8 and that'd be relatively comfortable with that. That's a Sissoko there. That's a Sissoko. These are Sissokos I just bought a minute ago. They're strikers, so I'm listing them slightly cheaper than I would list them normally because they're harder to sell strikers. People have to convert them. People just usually just rather buy something mids, but they will eventually sell. Without a doubt, they just maybe it takes 1 or 2 times to list them. Mertens, his inform card is for the sort of high tier stuff, right? So I want to show you what he's selling for at the moment. See if we can see one on the market. 451, 480 there, 490, 475. His price yesterday that I saw was 450 in the evenings that he sold for. So no one there that I'd be interested in at all. The 451's pretty much what he sells for on a normal day. There's no massive sort of rush this morning. It's early morning again. I'm recording this at like 10 o'clock in the morning. There's not so much rush for these players. But again, just be mindful that as the day progresses, more people get on. That can make the price jump or it can make it fall. You just got to keep an eye on the market. I always tell you this. I'm going to ask you questions. I'm like, keep an eye on the market. The market will guide you, whatever you do. But Mertens is a really, really good one. Ben Yedder's a really good one for him. Other hunter one is about 260 plus. Robertson with a shadow on is a really, really good one. Because people don't think before they list these players, before they list defenders. I don't realise, I think a lot of time that a lot of them sell for quite a bit. So I'm going to go 208 here. I mean, I'm going to bring up loads of his Champions League card. I actually didn't even, to be fair. That's funny. That's really no one on the market at all. 204. Yesterday he was selling for about 198 to 200,000. So I'd just be mindful that you're not overpaying for him. Make sure you're buying him at the right price. But if you look here, 204 is 198. There we go, yeah. I mean, same price as yesterday, pretty much. So let's see, because it looked like there was more shadows on them in there. Just then. Like 204 is fine. So Robertson's a really good one. Now, in terms of your other meta cards that you want to be looking at, I sold Sterling yesterday. I made about 10k profit on him. What am I doing? Sterling. With a hunter on him. What did I make for him? I think it's about 105 was about what he was selling for last night. So yeah, 100, there you go, 105 is what he's selling for. And compared to his normal price, which I think is about 100k-ish, give or take. It's probably a little slightly less than that, but it's not massively less. Remember, the gap shouldn't be extraordinary because they only cost 10 or 11k to buy anyway. And that's why I prefer the lower end, because people don't want to buy a Hunter to put on Felipe Anderson. See, 98 there. People don't want to buy a Hunter to put on Felipe Anderson, so I just think the gains are bigger because the tax on the sterling here is quite high. If you sell at 105, you're losing sort of 5k tax. Whereas so you're making maybe 2 or 3k profit over what you would be buying him for normally. With Felipe Anderson, you can make a lot more. You can make a 5, 6, 7k profit if you buy him at the right price. So that is how it works. And it's not a fine art. And it does require you to do a bit of research, a bit of digging, working out what players are selling for. But it is ultimately very rewarding. You can make a lot of coins out of this method. You've just got to keep watching and seeing what they're doing. Like that Anderson there, I'm tempted to buy. And also, you'll find weird things happen. Like there was a 15,500 Felipe Anderson a minute ago, and he sold before the 15k. Don't ask me why it happens; it just does. And I don't really know why people do it. I don't really know why people buy them that way, but it's just it just is what it is. But there you go. Those Vernons that I watched earlier on, they've all sold. So now I can say, well, actually, at the lowest it's off for 6.8, but you can get 7.4 for them. So I know that Vernon now. I'll add that to my thing and say, well, actually, I saw him sell for 7.4 in the AM. Bit that now, 7.4k in the AM. So I know that if I buy some tonight at 6k, chances are tomorrow morning I can sell for 7.4. Something like that. So I make a K profit on each of them. It's a no-brainer. But yeah, that essentially is chemistry style trading. And it's another thing to add to your bow. So I'm teaching you so much, lads, about these methods. They're not all my methods in terms of I thought this myself. I've seen other traders do them. Flair, Run the Foot Market, V273 on Twitch is a really good trader. Just don't tell him he cost you coins because he gets annoyed about it. He's a great trader. Loads of good traders, and you learn from them. I've learned from them, and I've adapted them to myself and specific players that I like. I know they like informs. A lot of them like to go the higher end. I like the lower end. But yeah, that's essentially what it is. But just keep adding strings to your bow, things that you can do. And so you're not doing the same thing every day, just sitting there like monotonously, Bundesliga, CSL, Bundesliga, CSL, Bundesliga, CSL. You've got other things like, okay, cool, these are other players that I can snipe. I've shown you the way that you can snipe players for the base icon SBC. Go and do that. And then if you get this, you go, okay, well, actually some chem style trading. If I want to chill that evening and just make myself 20, 30, 40, 50k, relaxing for a couple of hours, chem style trading is where it's at. I've got my database in front of me. I know what these players sell for. Boom, off I go. But that is going to be the end of the video, lads. If you are new around here, please drop me a subscription. Please drop me a like if you haven't already done so. And we're now on Instagram. I'll drop my link down below for you. Come and follow me on Instagram. We're going to be showing you a bit more sort of my in real life photos. Me and my boys go Sutton United, because the flags behind us. Things like that. So you can see a bit more about my actual life outside of YouTube and things like that, which is really, really good. But I just want to say thank you for the support, lads. I'm really excited. But for now, I'm out. Peace. Have a good day. See you later.